after the parents of Casey Anthony questioned on camera in a case related to the charges brought against their daughter. NBC's Kerry Sanders is in Orlando with more. Kerry, good morning.
Well, good morning, Meredith. 23-year-old Casey Anthony faces murder charges, but there's also a civil case. It's alleged in her attempt to cover up the crime, she maligned a woman by the name of Zenaida Gonzalez. So in that civil case, the judge ordered Casey's parents, George and Cindy, to give depositions. And as you'll see, they're clearly hostile, fearful that what they say in the civil case may wind up hurting their daughter in the criminal case.
Have you thought it might be code for someone else?
You know something, you're trying to badger me here. I don't appreciate that.
George Anthony.
She didn't have a fight with me. Go there. Go ahead there, Mr. Morgan.
And his wife, Cindy. In separate hour-long depositions Thursday, equally emotional and angry at being forced to go through this on camera, knowing it's public record. George Anthony was direct.
Am I upset, sir? You're darn right I'm upset being here. Because I think this is just uncalled for.
Combative.
Do not ask me that again, sir, because I will walk out of here. Do not do that
so
to
I don't
me
want
again.
To make it hard on you.
Yes, you are.
And indignant.
You never laid eyes on anyone named Zany that was a babysitter in your life.
Pronunciation, sir, is Zanny. No, sir.
Zanny.
Instead of Zenny, what you're saying. So I guess you have to pronunciate things a little bit better, sir, for someone to understand you.
The issue was this: Zenaida Gonzalez defamed when Casey Anthony told investigators her babysitter, Zenaida Zanny Gonzalez, was holding 2-year-old Kaylee against her will. While there were at least 14 Zenaida Gonzalez's in the phone book in Orlando, this Zanny momentarily was the focus of the investigation.
She is the only Zenaida Gonzalez that has ever been questioned by the police, the only Zenaida Gonzalez that ever lost her job, the only Zenaida Gonzalez that ever was kicked out of her place.
Investigators long ago said they eventually concluded there was no evidence a Zanny the nanny even existed, and Gonzalez was cleared.
Brad, I'm getting ready to end this. I'm getting to walk out.
An irritated George Anthony belittled the Gonzalez's lawyers, saying he believes this civil case is a simple grab for attention.
I want to understand something. How can you get involved in a criminal case when this is a civil matter? Explain that to me, sir, and you keep on fishing for more stuff. Do you want? Is just 15 minutes of fame so important to you?
You slandered me on TV.
Cindy Anthony was at times as emotional as her husband and showed how painful this process has been.
That was a cruel thing in my life that they did to me, okay, to take me on a day that I go in there and, you know, and I'm distraught over my granddaughter and everything, and it's cruel for you to sit there and make me watch it again.
And she just couldn't handle it anymore.
I'm done. I've already answered the question. She's not the one. I'm done.
The lawyers asking the questions in these depositions say they were so bothered by the lack of responses that they may go to the judge and ask that he order Cindy and George Anthony to sit down and do this all again. Meredith?
All right, Kerry Sanders, thank you very much. Brad Conway is the attorney for George and Cindy Anthony. Brad, good morning to you.
Good morning, Meredith.
You know, Brad, you look at those tapes of Cindy and George, and they are at times argumentative, they're angry, they're emotional. What set them off?
What set them off is the delving into their personal life, things that most people would never have to endure in the public eye.
Well, was there anything inappropriate about them being asked the questions that they were asked in this deposition?
You know, the focus of this deposition should have been to clear Zenaida Gonzalez. And Zenaida Gonzalez is her name, where Casey Anthony originally said that it was Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. So the focus should have been on making sure that everybody knows that this is not the Zenaida Gonzalez that was referred to. And that wasn't the focus at all. The focus was bringing out every little fact that's going to get airtime for the next 3, 4, 5 months.
You know, this woman, Zenaida Gonzalez, says that her reputation was permanently damaged as a result of being tied to the disappearance of Kaylee Anthony and that she lost her job as a result of it. You and the Anthonys claim her suit is frivolous and without merit. Why do you say that?
Nobody believed from the beginning. Nobody believed at any point that this lady had anything to do with the disappearance of Kaylee Marie Anthony. So for her to claim that she was the focus of the investigation is ridiculous.
Then why do you believe she would bring this suit?
Attention. she's got the intention now of every network and the public, and this will get constant airtime. And she had nothing going on before, and now she does.
You know, George has said that, Casey Anthony continues to insist that a babysitter named Zenata Fernandez-Gonzalez kidnapped her daughter, and her dad, George, in his testimony said that he hasn't rejected that story, still believes in his daughter. So is he saying that he still believes there was a babysitter involved? Not this woman, but someone else?
No. The only information that they've gotten is from Casey. And that's been her claim from the beginning. So they just don't know, Meredith. They just don't know. This investigation needs to continue until they have all the facts, and that's going to be an ongoing process.
But, you know, Cindy Anthony originally said that she doubted the babysitter story. Is she now changing her mind about that?
No, I don't think so, Meredith. I think everybody doubted it from the beginning, and there hasn't been any evidence that's come out that supports the theory, but there hasn't been any evidence that completely debunks it. So, you know, the honest answer is they don't know.
All right, to be continued. Brad Conway, thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome, Meredith. Thank you.